It's gonna be like. So what if we lose? It's gonna be all right. So what if we get swept? It's gonna be all right. So what if we miss out on the money? It's gonna be all right. That he just gives you that impression.
Just getting sued. Everyone's so sensitive. YouTube was demonetizing like half my videos because they were becoming more, progressive, and all of their advertisers would be like, we can't have this.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit.
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back when addressing the latest claims surrounding Jake Paul, framing the situation as a cautionary tale rather than a victory lap. He discussed reports suggesting Paul is facing severe financial trouble following lawsuits tied to accusations of manipulated fights, emphasizing that no amount of fame or short-term profit justifies gambling everything on actions that could cross legal lines. According to Smith, once allegations of misconduct surface and gain traction, the consequences tend to snowball fast. He stressed that when credibility collapses, money, reputation, and opportunity usually follow. In his view, the situation was never sustainable, arguing that if wrongdoing is eventually uncovered, the fallout isn't shocking. It's inevitable, and many observers believe this reckoning was only a matter of time.
Normal. I'm talking about people who let it cost them their money.
Yeah.
That's all I'm talking about. If it don't cost you your money, puff, puff, and pass away. Yeah.
Jake Paul has reportedly claimed that his financial situation unraveled faster than anyone expected. According to accounts attributed to him, major income streams dried up, including the removal or demonetization of his YouTube content due to ongoing content disputes. He has allegedly stated that each lawsuit carried multi-million-dollar costs, and as the cases stacked up, the losses compounded rapidly. By his own reflection, even past periods of massive earnings weren't enough to offset the drain caused by continuous legal pressure. The takeaway he reportedly shared is how fragile wealth can be when legal battles become constant, turning what once looked untouchable into something that vanished almost overnight.
Say the names, but there's like a firm who has stolen a bunch of money from celebrities in Los Angeles and athletes.
You don't want to say the name because you're probably going to get sued.
No, yeah. No,
that's another $1 million.
I'm probably going to sue them one day.
Jake Paul has reportedly remained adamant in denying all accusations that he manipulated or staged any of his fights. He insists that he has done nothing illegal and has warned that he is prepared to pursue legal action against anyone who claims otherwise. According to Paul, scripted bouts are explicitly against the law, and spreading false allegations crosses a serious line. He has characterized the claims as completely unfounded and emphasized that making such accusations is not just reckless but potentially a serious legal offense. Paul maintains that protecting his reputation and career is a priority, and he says he will aggressively defend himself against what he views as defamatory statements.
Versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing gloves throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul.
Jake Paul has pushed back aggressively against critics, saying that people who label his fights as rigged simply don't understand boxing. He reportedly argues that much of the backlash comes from a lack of knowledge about how the sport actually works. According to Paul, many viewers confuse strategy, pacing, and tactical decision-making with something dishonest. He insists that what critics call suspicious is often just calculated boxing, where movement, timing, and restraint matter as much as aggression. In his view, the accusations aren't rooted in evidence, but in misunderstanding, claiming that those calling his fights fixed fail to grasp the skill, planning, and nuance involved at a professional level.
I was thinking that you was rigging those fights, though. I ain't gonna lie.
You honestly believe that?
I wanted to believe it when you fought Woodley.
Rampage.
You know I'm an MMA guy.
Anyone who believes that narrative, it's like, come on. You think Anderson Silva's gonna lose? You think Woodley's gonna take a fall? You know these guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Anderson would take a fall.
People think the Mike Tyson fight's rigged. I try to understand.
Tony Jeff stepped in to defend Jake Paul, pushing back hard against claims that Mike Tyson was pulling his punches. He reportedly explained that the idea of Tyson holding back doesn't line up with how real exchanges work in the ring. In his view, If Tyson had fully committed to a shot in that moment, Jake would have instantly fired back, changing the entire sequence. Jeffer argued that many critics misread what they are watching, mistaking timing, restraint, and tactical awareness for something dishonest. According to him, those accusations come from a lack of boxing knowledge, ignoring the skill, reactions, and strategy that were actually shaping the fight, and unfairly reducing complex exchange to conspiracy instead of craft.
Sad that Mike Tyson has got to do this fight. This is what I wrote on Instagram, and someone commented saying he doesn't have to do it, he's choosing to do it. And then I thought, you're right, he is choosing to do it, but why is he choosing to do it? Well, he's doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this, so that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson can get bought, because this guy is an absolute legend. He shouldn't be able to get bought like this. He's 57 years old. He needs to be enjoying retirement. Now, I don't think that I've got the wealth that Mike Tyson's got, but if someone offered me $20 million to fight Jake Paul, I would say no, because I care too much about my brain health, about my children, about my family, where it seems like he is being bored. And I'm not trying to disrespect the man. I absolutely love the man. It's just so blue.
At the same time, several commentators speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast raised doubts about the authenticity of Jake Paul's bout with Mike Tyson. They reportedly pointed out a noticeable contrast between Tyson's training footage, where he appeared fast, explosive, and dangerous, and what unfolded on fight night, in the ring. His punches seemed measured, his aggression restrained, and his usual intensity dialed down. According to these analysts, that gap suggested the contest may have been carefully controlled rather than fully competitive. They argue that the rhythm of the fight, the timing of exchanges, and the reactions from both fighters felt adjusted, leading some viewers to believe the matchup followed a managed framework instead of a raw, all-out confrontation.
Wants to test himself against actual, not just world champion, but one of the greatest of all time.
Are the fights even real? Like the Tyson fight? Like I saw video breakdowns of Tyson not throwing punches early on in that fight. I don't know if you watched any of those videos where like there's a left hook is 100% available. Tyson on in training 99% of the time releases that punch and he held up. Like, do you think that was that a real fight?
It looked like sparring to me. That's what it looked like.
But like with an arrangement beforehand?
I wouldn't want to speculate because I haven't talked to anybody about it. But my educated assessment?
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
It looked like sparring.
Jake Paul's matchup with Anthony Joshua was surrounded by speculation that he hoped to influence the flow of the fight through tactics and positioning to tilt things in his favor. But once the bout unfolded, that approach never fully materialized. Instead, Jake appeared far more concerned with minimizing damage and surviving exchanges and asserting control or dictating pace. Some observers acknowledged flashes of defensive awareness, but overall the strategy came off as conservative. Facing an opponent of Joshua's caliber proved to be a different equation entirely. Analysts noted that no matter how detailed the preparation or how calculated the plan, the realities of elite competition can disrupt even the best intentions. In this case, the fight highlighted how difficult it is to execute strategy cleanly when the opponent operates on a much higher level, reinforcing that boxing rarely follows a script once the punches start flying.
For him in terms of what he's doing in the boxing ring.
Listen, so long as people will tune in and so long as Jake Paul is paid by Netflix or any broadcaster to air his fights, we're going to see this continue. And Jake Paul knows his business model, right? Now, this deviated, this AJ fight, which came together kind of last minute after the Tank Davis fight fell apart. But we know Jake Paul's MO here. It's find the most popular guy with the most physical disadvantages for me to fight. And Jake Paul has the benefit that he's turned himself into a villain, or in the pro wrestling circles, a heel. People tune in to watch. We did not tune into this fight to see competitive boxing. Most of us tuned in because we thought, here's Anthony Joshua. Here's a two-time unified heavyweight champion, a guy who physically just overwhelms Jake Paul. And we're finally going to get what Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz were not physically fit, whether it be through their size, experience, or age, to do, and that is knock out Jake Paul. And so, because I don't really feel like we got that satisfying comeuppance that a lot of people have been waiting for, it kind of gives Jake Paul a little bit of mystique, I'd almost say, to still try and string this along. Now, I don't know in terms, he says he wants to be cruiserweight champion. I'm not quite sure what the competitive road there is, because let's make no mistake, the reason this fight lasted as long as it did is because Jake Paul focused exclusively on being elusive. He did his best, and kudos to him, right? He did a great job of not getting cornered. He was always on the gas until the gas sort of fell out from underneath him. And so I don't quite know, short of leveraging his popularity, how he's going to get to that title shot if he's not actually going to fight. Like, really.
Confusion rippled through the audience midway through the 7th round of Jake Paul's bout with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when some viewers began claiming that online posts were already declaring Paul the winner before the fight had officially ended. Those premature announcements ignited a firestorm across social platforms, pushing fans to question what they were watching and whether the outcome was ever truly in doubt. The moment didn't exist in isolation either. Longtime observers quickly connected it to a broader pattern they believe has followed Paul throughout his boxing run. Opponents chosen with care, promotion driven heavily by media narratives, and fight outcomes that often feel preordained. Whether coincidence or perception, the repetition of these elements has continued to fuel skepticism and debate around the authenticity of his contests.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, and it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google.
The fight between Jake Paul and Chavez Jr. was just another moment added to a growing list that has drawn heavy skepticism. For many viewers, his boxing path consistently sits in a gray area between genuine sport and stage entertainment. Fans and analysts alike point to a recurring formula: opponents whose best years are behind them, events built primarily for massive attention, and conditions that seem to tilt the odds in Paul's favor. These recurring elements have fueled accusations that the focus isn't on proving himself against true equals, but on crafting spectacles where control, visibility, and narrative matter more than pure competitive challenge.
Important and quite serious news in the combat sports world. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them. I really did. I thought that Mike Tyson, especially Iron Mike, he was just going to go in there and knock Jake clean out. But here he is, not trying.
Shield Sonnen weighed in by pointing out how strange the whole setup looks when you strip away the hype. He noted that it's highly unusual for a fighter with barely a dozen professional bouts to be matched against opponents with deep resumes and even Olympic-level backgrounds. In Sonnen's view, that kind of leap skips over the normal logic of career development. He argued that these matchups don't feel like the natural progression of a young professional, but more like scenarios designed to manufacture big moments and dramatic storylines. From his perspective, the structure of these fights raises questions about whether the priority is true competition or carefully crafted spectacle.